Hello, everyone. I'm just trying to go live from Instagram as well as Facebook. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to. What is going on? Okay. Just bear with me for a few minutes till I go online here. Okay. I think I got it now. Perfect. I am live now on Facebook as well as Instagram. And today we are going to talk about an important topic. We're going to talk about immune system or immunity. If you are live, please let me know if you can hear me, and I'll be trying to take it a little bit slow and easy and talk about the best herbs, a few of my favorite herbs that really help boost your immune system. As I mentioned before, in today's world where there is constant bombarding on our immunity because of certain foods that we eat which are not either compatible, or because of the multiple changing situation in the pandemic, like your body's constantly bombarded by some kind of a virus, which now everybody knows due to the pandemic, but some kind of bacteria, there's yeast, there are so many microbes out there. Stress, leading a stressful life, leading a life that's not aligned, you know with what your body requires, which is not aligned with the environment. Example is, eating or drinking a lot of cold drinks, especially in the cold weather, right? So every time you're doing, these things, you're not following a daily regimen, you're not following a dietary regimen. Every time you're doing things which are called pradnya prad, like going against your innate intelligence, it will eventually try to create issues with your immune system. And your immunity is an extremely important system in the body. Your immune system is linked with the other body systems, right? Digestion, like they all work together. Again, try not to look at body systems from, like, by segregating them from one another. Everything works together in a holistic way. So if you want to build your immune system, there are things you have to do on an ongoing basis that promote your overall health, and not just focus on the immune system, right? And in Ayurveda, one of the biggest things when we talk about immunity, we cannot skip the conversation on what's known as ojas, right? So ojas, again, I'm not talking about my husband. He's good for my immunity though. But ojas is the essence of all the tissues. The food that you eat is going to go through a sequence of tissues in your body. And the saptadhatus, or the seven tissues, your blood, your muscle, your fat, everything, all the seven tissues are formed from the food that you eat. And the eighth is the vital essence of the body, that's known as ojas, or your vitality. And it is extremely important for maintaining your immune system, right? It's extremely important not just to prevent you from getting sick, but it also determines how fast you will recover, right? And that is what we talk about, the concept of vyadhi kshamatva, that how is your body going to prevent falling sick, and how are you going to recover, right? And this is an important concept, and that is why certain ayurvedic plants or herbs, we are going to talk about those, which can really help you prevent any kind of infections, or keep you healthy overall. Now I'm going to discuss about five of my favorite plants. There are a lot more immune boosting plants in Ayurveda. Due to the time, I'm just going to talk about five of those. And again, one thing you have to remember when we talk about anything Ayurvedic, right, is that everything has to be customized to you. So when I talk about turmeric, again, the dosage will dependent on the kind of inflammation or the kind of infection that's going on in your body, right? And this is one of the biggest things that why people think Ayurveda is not working for them, is Ayurvedic herbs or supplements are not over the counter pills, right? You can't just take it and have it. So you have to determine the dosage, the mode of, therapeutic, like how are you going to take it, what mode. Is it going to be a decoction, is it going to be a pill, is it going to be a powder? So all these will also depend on your health condition, your prakriti. We determine so many factors, like we need so many factors to determine the mode of therapeutics as well. So this is a general idea. I'm going to talk about herbs. Some of them you can use in your daily life, some of them ideally do not use it without consulting a practitioner, right? I'm going to say a quick hi to Devyani is here, Dr. Heels is here as well. Again, if you have questions, please post them in the comment section. If you're watching this live, I can see quite a few people on the Blue Water Nutrition page as well as my page on Facebook. If you are here, please say a quick hi. And if you have any questions, I'll be taking questions at the end of the session, right? So let's get started. So why do we need immunity, right? Because to live in today's world, that's as simple as that. We need a very strong and robust immune system. And another point I want to mention before I get into the herbs is inflammation is a huge thing, right? In today's world, we always talk about, oh, I'm inflamed, oh, I'm inflamed. But what exactly is the inflammation? What does that mean? So it is actually the healing response of your body. If there's any tissue damage, your body is going to try to self heal. And that is where it creates that inflammation, right? And there are four main characteristics of inflammation: redness, pain, heat, swelling. And when we talk about these herbs, all these herbs that I'm going to talk about today are also anti inflammatory, right? They are going to prevent your body's inflammatory response from going out of balance. That is how they're also going to support the immune system, right? So, a quick hi to Harsh, my happy home by Harsha, and Manpreet is here as well. And then we have Mukta, Carrie, and Shweta on Facebook. So thank you for watching this. So let's get started. So one of my absolute favorite herbs that I'm going to talk about first is Guruchi or Giloy. The Latin name is Tinospora cordifolia, and it is an extremely important herb, and it is what we call a rasayana herb, right? So this is the herb that can navigate all the seven tissues of your body. It is an anti-inflammatory, it is an immune balancer as well. So I use it in clients who have had a lot of struggle with their immune system, especially in a lot of autoimmune conditions, right? So that is Guruchi or Tinospora cordifolia. Again, the mode of the herb would depend on the individual. The dosage would again depend on the individual, how much inflammation they have. So this is done by assessment. But overall, Guruchi or Giloy can be used for a variety of things. It is an antioxidant, right? It prevents a lot of oxidation reactions in the body. It is anti-inflammatory, it's also immune modulating, and because it's bitter, it's also a liver tonic, right? So again, the liver from an Ayurvedic perspective is the site of the five elemental fires or the Panchabhutagni. And when we talk about processing the food, when we talk about making those immune factors or helping our immunity, you have to make sure that certain organs are also working perfectly, like your liver. So when we look at a modern aspect, we have seen that Guruchi is enhancing the activity of macrophages, and it also helps in recovery, right? And it's also going to be used in any kind of fevers, which is again your body's inflammatory response. And it is also an anti-inflammatory. So whether it's joint pain, or whether it's certain conditions like autoimmunity, or whether there are conditions which are leading to too much of histamine, right? I see a lot of conditions like urticaria, sometimes mast cell syndrome, mast cell activation syndrome, sometimes histamine intolerance. So I use different forms of Guruchi in my practice, especially when I see a lot of immune involvement, right? And because it's also a rasayan herb, it's not going to deplete the body, right? So the Ayurvedic energetics, it's bitter in taste, it's astringent, it's sweet, it's heating in nature, but its post digestive effect is sweet, and it's going to balance all of your doshas, and it's going to ensure that your body doesn't get weak. Your inner strength builds up as well, and you recover amazingly. So that is Guruchi for you, right? So typically use it for any kind of inflammations, especially when you have immune system involved. Again, the dosage will depend on the duration of the condition, how severe or moderate your condition is, and also your health history. The second one I'm going to talk about is we're going to talk about Tulsi or holy basil, right? So, holy basil again is used in the Western world today as something like a nervine tonic where it's going to help you calm down, it's going to help you de stress, but not many people know that it's a potent immune supporter. It's going to help your immune system, it's going to boost your immune system, and it is one of the best respiratory tonics out there. So if you are somebody who's constantly congested, who has a runny nose, who's allergic to everything around you, especially like dust allergies or something like that, Tulsi or holy basil, taking it in the form of a tea, or if you have the plant at home, you can crush a few leaves and make a fresh decoction, is going to be fantastic. So holy basil, Tulsi is pretty fantastic for upper respiratory tract. If you struggle with a lot of congestion or sinus issues as well, this is something that will really help you. This is something that will also support you. And I think I've talked about holy basil a lot. Like when I do my videos, I love it. It's one of my favorite herbs, and I absolutely love it. I talk about it a lot. So if you are really cold, if you're very congested, if you feel like stuck, if things are stuck, they are not moving, holy basil is the herb to try. It is pungent in taste, it is heating in its energetics, and it is also a pungent post digestive effect, right? So it's fantastic to balance vata as well as kapha. It may increase pitta if you start taking too much of it, right? So you just have to be a little bit cautious. And one thing to understand about holy basil is, that it can help not just with physical, but any kind of chemical, metabolic, as well as psychological stress, right? So if you are somebody who's going to through a lot of metabolic stress in the body because of high blood pressure, blood glucose, if your lipid levels are off, you have a lot of emotional stress at the same time, you have a lot of respiratory stress at the same time, this will be the herb of choice. And something as incorporating a simple tea in your daily life might be a really good option, right? Because you want to build up your immunity and also help with some of the antioxidant properties that Tulsi has, especially respiratory. Like again, I'm pointing out, for emotional stress, mental stress, or respiratory stress, holy basil, hands down, one of the best herbs. um, Also, people who are drained by other people, if you feel emotionally overwhelmed, if you feel completely drained, holy basil is the best herb to have. It's also a very spiritually protecting herb, and that's one of the reasons why in every Indian household you'll have a herb at home, right? So I'm trying to grow a lot of holy basil. I have one plant which I've had for I think about 2 or 3 years now, and I'm trying to grow some more this season, right? So holy basil, always, buying it, keeping it your home would be a fantastic thing to do. Now, the third one, I'm not sure if many of you have heard about this, right? So, third one, again, one of my absolute favorites, but this is more used medicinally than in a daily life, right? So, we talk about Calmeg or Andrographis paniculata is the Latin name. So, Calmeg, one of my favorite bitter herbs, right? It is different from Kira Tikta, which is Swartia chiraita. So, Calmeg is one of the most fantastic herbs that works on multiple levels. It will work for skin conditions, it will work for liver, it will work for lack of appetite, fever, it helps purify the blood, and it is also antibacterial. It's also like um, anti-inflammatory. So if you have excess heat, now this has a cooling tendency, it's not a very heating herb, right? So when I see, if I take like a pulse reading and if I see that the liver is generating too much heat in the body, or if the client has or the patient has a lot of heat related issues along with lowered immune system, this is one of the best herbs to give because of the cooling effect as well. And it is mainly like it helps with pitta. It also helps with reducing diarrhea or any bacterial infections. It also helps discharge a lot of mucus from the respiratory system as well. So, Kalmeg, again, one of my favorite herbs. Now, this is an extremely bitter herb. I would always advise to take it under the supervision of an Ayurvedic doctor rather than experimenting with yourself. Like Holy basil as a tea, you're completely fine with it. Turmeric, garlic, ginger, those herbs, you're absolutely fine by taking yourself. Guruchi as well, because it's a rasayana herb, right? Rasayana herbs are herbs that are not going to create or throw things off balance too much, right? So definitely you can do that. So gallbladder diet, like lifestyle to shrink gallstones. So twigtails, I might be able to discuss this topic at some other talk. Today I don't really have the time to talk about that, but kalmeg is a nice bitter herb that will also help with the liver, right? So gallstones, we have to talk about the etiology, how they're formed, and then the specific diet, right? But one of the wrong things I can just talk to you upfront, one tip I can give you is, initially, if you are somebody who's done a low fat diet, right, or if the gall sludge is not moving too well, that will create a lot of the gallbladder issues and gallstones. So bitter herbs will help. There are some specific herbs that can help break the stones, but we will talk about that at a different topic. We're talking more about immune system today, right? So again, like going back to kalmeg, hepatoprotective, it's a little bit drying herb, but it's also a cooling herb. So especially when you have excess heat in the body, that's when we would give kalmeg, right? And it's antioxidant, antimicrobial, as well as antiviral. The fourth one I'm going to discuss, I'm sure every one of you have tried it by now. If you haven't tried it yet, please post like it in the comment that you haven't tried it. And I'm going to talk about turmeric, right? So turmeric, or the golden spice, or golden milk, golden chai lattes, they're crazily popular in the Western world. So one of the things that you have to know about turmeric is it's a very potent herb, right? And curcumin, which is popularly sold as a supplement, is one of the active principles of turmeric, but it is not the only principle of turmeric, right? In Ayurveda, we really like to use the whole herb, so you're getting the whole benefit of it. Again, turmeric is something that's antimicrobial, it's anti-inflammatory. So if you are someone who's struggling with an inflammatory response, turmeric is a very good thing for you. Just beware that you don't have a high pitta state. If you have excess of the fire, if you have excess of pitta, it will create issues, especially the curcumin, right? Because turmeric is also a pungent spice. And when we talk about curcumin, the active principle is way more pungent and way more sharp than the whole herb, right? So when you're fractionating herbs, you have to be a little bit careful. So again, turmeric usually is digested well. If you take it with a little bit of like fat, like milk or something, it's going to be digested better. That's the principle of having golden milk. You don't always have to add curcumin to it. Sorry, black pepper to it, right? So something like turmeric, you can start taking it with warm water, a quarter teaspoon or half a teaspoon, depending on what your body requires. If you're somebody who loves drinking milk, right, or if you have children that love to drink milk but they're getting super congested because of milk, that's the time to add turmeric or this golden spice to the milk, and this will prevent you from having a lot of congestion that is related to the milk, right? And again, when it comes to research, like there's so much research done on turmeric. It is a natural antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, it's also anti-cancer. They've found a lot of anti-cancer properties to turmeric, right? So using it as a food on a regular basis, when you're cooking your vegetable, sauteing your vegetable, adding quarter to half a teaspoon, you can add it to your curries, you can add it to your dals or lentils, right? Is fantastic. Pretty much everything that I cook traditionally, I use turmeric in it, right? So adding some of this amazing turmeric to your food is a really good idea. Now they've done studies on Alzheimer's disease, they've done studies on cognitive function where turmeric works fantastic in preventing Alzheimer's or dementia, right? And one of the best ways you can start incorporating it is incorporate it in your daily life in the form of food. When you take capsules, it is a little bit more potent. Again, you can take capsules, if you are struggling with a lot of symptoms, a lot of inflammation. But if you don't have, you want to prevent certain things, having it as a food is one of the best ways to do it. And one simple tip is you can easily use something like turmeric milk to start your morning rather than having coffee, right? If you wake up early in the morning, it's usually the kapha time for people who are a little bit sluggish and take their sweet time, you have that sluggishness. So you can have some turmeric milk, turmeric and almond milk, oat milk, whatever kind of milk you want, and that will also keep you less congested. If you find yourself a lot congested in the morning, this is one of the best remedies, right? You can also have turmeric with water if you absolutely like don't like any kind of milk or nut milks. But again, one thing is, it's extremely important for your brain as well. It's extremely important for cognitive function. And there are a lot of, neuroprotective, nephron protective for kidneys, anti-rheumatic, so joint pain, antiviral, like it's like it has a ton of benefits, right? So is there anybody here who has not tried turmeric yet? If yes, just post it in the comment section. I'm not trying to judge, it's just so popular that I want to know, whether you've tried it or not. And again, turmeric is something that is also a blood sugar balancer, right? So it works on inflammation, it also works on diabetes, and it also works on any kind of neurogenerative diseases. So that is one of the reasons why turmeric is so damn fantastic, right? So the last herb that we are going to talk today is a little bit. So Carrie hasn't tried it. Okay, so Carrie, try it and let me know how it works for you. You can just get a little bit from bulk barn and maybe add it to warm water or tea, right? So have it as a food. Don't buy the concentrated pills unless you know why you're taking those, right? Um, the last of the five, but not the least, is again garlic, right? So when it comes to Ayurveda, there is a lot, not Ayurveda, but when it comes to the modern age Ayurveda, right? In the Western world, or when it comes to the spirituality, when it comes to the yoga community, there's a lot of controversy when we talk about garlic. But garlic is one of the best medicines that you can try out there, right? And this is a herb, you can use it in food, and this is also a really good medicine, especially on any kind of vat, you know wind like factors. So you can definitely try that. I have a question. I'm going back to turmeric a little bit. Turmeric black pepper capsules one day, or just turmeric and water? So again, Tubik Tales is your name, so that's what I'm going to call you. So turmeric, you can use it as a food. You can take it in water, you can have it in tea, you can use it for cooking, right? When you take the capsules, again, you have to know the dose of how much capsule is required. And again, the dose of the herb is always in proportion to what's going on in your body, to the pathogenesis, or the dosha imbalance, right? So it's hard for me to tell you how much exactly to take it before a consultation, right? But food, you can easily add half a teaspoon to any kind of almond milk or nut milk and have it. So that might be the safest way for you to have it, is a food, right? Going back to, or moving forward to garlic. Now, garlic, one of the best herbs, again, hands down. You can use it in food. I know everybody loves garlic. And raw garlic is one of the ancient spices we've been using, right? Like if you look at the Sanhitas, Charak, Sushrut, they've all appreciated the benefits of raw garlic. And garlic is a herb that has five tastes except for sour taste. So if you're looking at sweet, salty, pungent, bitter, astringent, it has all the five tastes, right? And it is a very piercing and a sharp spice, so it's going to penetrate into your tissues in a deeper way, right? And it's also very hot in potency. It's going to be beneficial to balance vata and kapha, and it can increase pitta dosh, right? So again, when we look at the powder is going to be slightly less potent than the whole herb, right? And then the herb has like lots of amazing properties or amazing constituent. The beta mercaptans of garlic can also help bind and chelate mercury. So here again, when we talk about, okay, I have my, dental extraction, and or I have a lot of mercury fillings, or I'm having a lot of cognitive stress, I don't know what's going on with me, right? So in these situations, sometimes, I will order a hair mineral analysis where we can actually find out if you are having a lot of heavy metal toxicity. And of the heavy metal toxicity, if I see a lot of mercury in the system, right, garlic works fantastic to bind and chelate a lot of the mercury out, right? So this is a really, really good one. And again, garlic also works for cadmium toxicity, right? So it's going to help with heavy metals, it's going to help with a lot of joint pain, it's going to help with your overall health, right? Again, the benefits are, when we look at any kind of bacteria, any kind of parasitization, garlic works fantastic. If you're looking at ear infection, garlic works fantastic. If you're looking at a lot of vata imbalances like constant pain, due to any vata issues, we're looking at constipation, we're looking at bloating, um, we are looking at garlic. And garlic is also an aphrodisiac, right? So it's going to improve your vitality, going to improve your vigor, it's going to improve your intelligence and the voice quality, and overall, it's extremely nourishing. It's also going to support your digestive system, right? The only thing you have to make sure is you don't have excess pitta in the system, right? So that's garlic for you. I can keep talking about it. Yeah, Allison. It's antifungal, antiseptic, antibacterial. Garlic used for bronchitis. If you have congestion, excess congestion where nothing seems to work, garlic will work fantastic. And typically, the raw garlic. If you're somebody who cannot handle raw garlic, that's the time you can cook it, right? So if you're having a lot of ulcer like conditions or lots of acid in the stomach, I wouldn't use raw garlic. At the time, you can cook it and eat it, right? But there is also like a recipe for garlic honey that I give to a lot of my clients. You can take some garlic and put it in a jar of honey, and you just cover it, let it burp a little bit, and then you're fermenting the garlic with honey. So when I do my spring or fall cleanses, or the digestive resets that I do with my clients, I give them some recipes for that. So sore throat, sinus issues, yeast infections, bacterial infections, everything you can use your garlic for. Again, the dosage would depend on what's going on with you. So I'm going to quickly look at the questions. So Twigtails is asking me if I offer consults out of Canada. Yes, I do 100%. And you're so knowledgeable. Love your digestive health inputs. Thank you so much. Digestion is like my domain of practice. So thanks so much. Joanne is saying I put turmeric in lemon, turmeric, ginger, ice cubes, and put it in my hot water in the morning. To make it, you can use, but ideally do not, like, herbs that have a hot potency or a warming potency, ideally if you use them fresh, right, or don't use it with ice water, right? That's what I would kind of suggest. But you're saying you're putting it in hot water in the morning, that's fine, that's fine. So I think what you're trying to say is, you maybe make a juice out of this and put it in the like ice cubes to freeze it, and then you use it in the hot water in the morning. Okay. Okay. Yeah, again, garlic, you can use it in your cooking, right? It adds a lot of amazing flavor to food. Now, one tip that I like about garlic, and I would love to give you about garlic, is, for those eating a lot of meat or red meat, if you're struggling with digestion, right? So, if you're used to eating red meat and you're absolutely not ready to give it up and you're constantly bloated, right? One thing to do is start marinating your meats or animal proteins with garlic and ginger, right? So it will reduce the inflammatory effect and it will boost the digestive effect, right? So you can marinate it on for 30 minutes, or even on fish, you can sprinkle some garlic and it will work fantastically as a digestive tonic, right? And it's also anti-bloating, so it's going to take away your bloating as well. You will digest the food better, right? So these are my 5 Ayurvedic herbs today. Most of them, except for andrographis, you can use in your daily diet, right? Andrographis, again, because it's very bitter, nobody prefers to use it in the diet. This season, I'm hoping to get some seeds and grow my own andrographis. It's going to be fun. Like, I'm waiting on some seeds for andrographis. So let me know what you thought about today's video. If you have specific, topics you want me to talk about, I will talk about those soon. And today, like, I'm gonna talk about gallstones soon. Maybe not now because I have my next few lined up. But when I do a talk on liver, definitely I'll keep that in mind. If you have any questions, you can post it in the comments. If you found this video useful, please feel free to tag your friends or share this video with them privately. You can just hit the share button and share with them privately. And if you want to try Ayurvedic medicine, please give me a shout and we can book a free 15-minute call to see whether it's aligned with you or not, and I can get some of your health history and I can talk about how I can help you. So the booking link for the free 15-minute call is right in the write up of this video. And if you're on Instagram, you can just say a quick hi or send me a DM and we can book the 15-minute free consult for you as well. Thank you once again for watching this. Have a fantastic day and take care of your immunity on a daily basis, right? We don't want to think of the immunity when we've lost it, but we want to make sure we're adding some nice spices or herbs, to our life to always make sure we have a really good immune system, right? Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.